Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 6, text number 1. So we'll start with the summary. Prahlad instructs his demoniac schoolmates. This chapter describes Prahlad Maharaj's instructions to his class friends. In speaking to his friends, who are all sons of demons, Prahlad Maharaj stressed that every living entity, especially in human society, must be interested in spiritual realization from the very beginning of life. When human beings are children, they should be taught that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the worshipable deity for everyone. One should not be very much interested in material enjoyment. Instead, one should be satisfied with whatever material profits are easily obtainable. And because the duration of one's life is very short, one should utilize every moment for spiritual advancement. One may wrongly think, in the beginning of our lives, let us enjoy material facilities, and in old age, we may become Krishna conscious. Such materialistic thoughts are always useless because in old age, one cannot be trained in the spiritual way of life. Therefore, from the very beginning of life, one should engage in devotional service. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. This is the duty of all living entities. Material education is infected by the three modes of nature, but spiritual education, for which there is a great need in human society, is transcendental. Prahlad Maharaj disclosed the secret of how he had received instructions from Narada Muni. By accepting the lotus feet of Prahlad Maharaj, who is in the Parampara succession, one will be able to understand the mode of spiritual life. In accepting this mode of activity, there is no need for material qualifications. After Prahlad Maharaj's class friends had listened to Prahlad Maharaj, they inquired how he had become so learned and advanced. In this way, the chapter ends. Text number 1. Everyone please repeat after me. Shri Parada Uvacha Kumara Achare Pragyo Dharman Bhagavatan Iha Durlabhan Manusham Janma Tarapya Dhruvam Artadam Shri Parada Uvacha Kumara Achare Pragyo Dharman Bhagavatan Iha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tarapya Dhruvam Artadam Shri Parada Uvacha Kamara Achare Pragyo Dharman Bhagavatan Iha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapya Dhruvam Artadam. Next. Shri Parada Vacha Kumara Achare Pragyo Dharman Bhagavatan Iha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapya Dhruvam Artadam. Mataji's. Shri Parada Vacha Kumara Achare Pragyo Dharma Bhagavatan Iha Madusham Janma Kadabhapya Dhruvam Artadam. Anyone else? Shri Parada Vacha Kumara Achare Pragyo Dharman Bhagavatan Iha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapi Dhruvam Artadam. Word for word meaning. Shri Parada Uvacha. Prahlad Maharaj said, Kumara, in the tender age of childhood, Acharet, should practice, Pragya, one who is intelligent, Dharman, occupational duties, Bhagavatan, which are devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Iha, in this life, Durlabham, very rarely obtained. Manusham, human. Janma, birth. Tat, that. Api, even. Adruvam, impermanent, temporary. Artadam, full of meaning. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Prahlad Maharaj said, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. Everyone please kindly repeat. Prahlad Maharaj said, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life, one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki. The whole purpose of Vedic civilization and of reading the Vedas is to attain the perfect stage of devotional service in the human form of life. According to the Vedic system, therefore, from the very beginning of life, the brahmacharya system is introduced so that from one's very childhood, from the age of 5 years, one can practice modifying one's human activities so as to engage perfectly in devotional service, as confirmed in Bhagavad-Gita chapter 2, verse 40, Swalpam ap yasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhyat. Even a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Modern civilization, not referring to the verdicts of Vedic literature, is so cruel to the members of human society that instead of teaching children to become brahmacharis, it teaches mothers to kill their children even in the womb on the plea of curbing the increase of population. And if by chance a child is saved, he is educated only for sense gratification. Gradually, throughout the entire world, human society is losing interest in the perfection of life. Indeed, men are living like cats and dogs, spoiling the duration of their human lives by actually preparing to transmigrate again to the degraded species among the 8,400,000 forms of life. The Krishna consciousness movement is anxious to serve human society by teaching people to perform devotional service, which can save a human being from being degraded again to animal life. As already stated by Prahlad Maharaj, Bhagavata Dharma consists of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanavednam. In all the schools, colleges, and universities, and at home, all children and youths should be taught to hear about this Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, they should be taught to hear the instructions of Bhagavad-Gita, to put them into practice in their lives, and thus to become strong in devotional service, free from fear of being degraded to animal life. Following Bhagavad Dharma has been made extremely easy in this age of Kali. The Shastra says, Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam, Kalo anasteva, nasteva, nasteva, gatiranyata. One need not chant. One need only chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Everyone engaged in the practice of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra will be completely cleansed from the core of his heart and be saved from the cycle of birth and death. What a wonderful benediction, huh? Very simple, huh? Let's see. So when I first met Srila Prabhupada, I was a little shy, and but I did ask Srila Prabhupada. I did mention something to Prabhupada. I mentioned a couple questions. I said, I'm starting kind of late my spiritual life. Here it mentions the Vedic civilization. In Vedic culture, one should start at 5. I bet most of you here haven't started at 5, even born in India, right? Is anyone here in this room started their spiritual life, Gurukul, at the age of 5? I don't think so. Not to mention other countries where we've never heard of very little or nothing of Vedic culture. I said, I'm starting kind of late my spiritual life. And Prabhupada said, better late than never. See, so already encouragement, better late than never. So it's always possible, because spiritual life is transcendental, right? Trigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistrigunya Bhavarjuna, Nirdvandva Nitya Sattva Sto, Niryoga Shema Atmavan. The Vedas, I think that's in chapter 2, verse 45, Bhagavad-Gita. The Vedas mainly deal with the 3 modes of material nature, Krishna says. Rise above these modes, O Arjuna. Become free from all desires for safety and gain, and thus be established in the self. In other words, the human form of life is meant for self-realization, spiritual realization, gaining spiritual knowledge, not mundane knowledge, spiritual knowledge. That's Atato Brahma Jignasa. First aphorism in Vedanta Sutra. Now is the time to inquire about the absolute truth. Now, why now? Because we have been gifted the human form of life. And the human form of life is the only opportunity, besides the demigod form of life, but generally they say the human form of life, to become God conscious, Krishna conscious. So, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. So the second verse, Janmadiyasya yataha, is what is the source of everything? What is the purpose of everything? Everything comes from the absolute truth. Everything is maintained by Krishna or God or the absolute truth. And upon winding up, everything is annihilated or destroyed and put within, comes back within the Lord. So that's confirmed by the conch shell. I must have said something right for a change. So the Maha Mantra is the greatest mantra, and it's the only mantra for this age. In other ages, in Satyuga, meditation was recommended to become aware of God, aware that we are not God. You're not God, I'm God, we're all God, there's no God, like that, nonsense. Meditation was recommended in Treta Yuga. There was different sacrifices, which are, I don't know them, maybe some of you do, but so I can't relate. But at any rate, Satyuga, Treta Yuga, different yagyas were recommended to realize oneself. Why I'm here, who I am, why am I here, where am I going? Why do I suffer? Am I supposed to suffer? What is my relationship with the Supreme? What is my sambandha, abhideya, prayojana? In the Vedas, these three subject matters are inculcated or taught, instructed. We have to first understand our relationship with God. So we go to Sanatan Goswami's temple. What's the name of that? Radha Madan Mohan on the Parikama, right? And we pray to Radha Madan Mohan or Sanatan Goswami. What is my relationship with God? And we learn Jivara Swarupa Hoya Krishnara Nityadas, that I'm the eternal servant of Krishna, part and parcel of Krishna. And Krishna says, and when you have thus learned the truth, you will know that all living beings are but part of me, and that they are in me and are mine. So we are all, just like our arms and legs and eyes and ears and nose and mouth and so forth, are all part and parcel of this body. So we are all part and parcel of the Supreme Body, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yaj jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth know this non-dual substance to be Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. The ultimate realization is Bhagavan realization. Brahman is Krishna's effulgence, the Brahma Jyoti, impersonal Brahman. Krishna is also impersonal, but that's not the ultimate realization. Brahman, Paramatma, is the all-pervading supersoul, Sarvadrik, in everyone's heart. Krishna is in everyone's heart. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad-Gita also, what is it? Sarvasya chaham hirdi sarivishto mataha shmitir jnanam apohanam cha vidaischa saverham eva vedyo Vedantakrit, Vedavid, Eva Chaham, chapter 15, verse 15, right? Krishna says, I'm seated in everyone's heart, and from me come knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So our knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness are caused by Krishna within our heart. Everything is coming from Krishna within our heart. By all the Vedas, it is I to be understood. In other words, Vedic knowledge is meant to help us understand Krishna. Indeed, I'm the compiler of Vedanta. Krishna in his form as Krishna Dvaipayana Vasudev. Prabhupada calls Veda Vyas Vasudev. So Vasudev compiled all the Vedic literatures for the understanding of us, so we can achieve perfection, so we can go back home, back to Godhead. Nate vidu swarta gatim hi Vishnu. Like that. And then Bhagavaniti Shabdyate, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. The Brahman and Paramatma is dependent on Krishna. So the ultimate realization of the absolute truth is Krishna, that blue boy who's always giving pleasure to his devotees, right? Always pleasing his devotees. And the devotees are always trying to please Krishna, right? Ataha pumbir dvija shreshta vanashrama vibhagasha swanushtitasya dharmasya sam siddhi haritoshanam. That the ultimate supreme occupational duty for all mankind is that which will please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we're here to try to please Krishna and not Maya. For so many births we have been trying to enjoy Maya, please Maya, and forget Krishna. And due to the grace of Srila Prabhupada ki, we're able to understand Sambandha. And we go further in Vrindavan. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki. So once, 1971, Srila Prabhupada brought me here. I used to go to England every year visiting. And from there, Sham Sundar, Srila Prabhupada's secretary in GBC, said, Prabhupada, why don't you go to Africa, and after Africa to Vrindavan? And I did go, and after Africa we came to Vrindavan. And here in Vrindavan, I was next to Srila Prabhupada, and I jumped in the air, and I said, Vrindavan Dham Ki! And Prabhupada says, you like Vrindavan, Vishal? I said, Srila Prabhupada, I love Vrindavan. Prabhupada said, Vrindavan is yours. Never leave Vrindavan. See? So, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So we want to be in Vrindavan. And I think Prabhupada wanted a certain, maybe 20 devotees or something. I don't remember exactly the statistics, to always stay in Vrindavan. And like that. And of course, Advaita Acharya, he stated, wherever you are is Vrindavan. Of course, we can't be like Advaita Acharya, but we can try. We can make effort. We don't want to be sahajiyas like myself. We want to be real devotees like that. And let's see. So even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. So the summum bonum gain of life is bhakti unto Govinda. That's the ultimate goal of life. We go to Gurukula, we come to the temple, we want to learn something about our, to be happy. Prabhupada says, I've changed hippies into happies. I've changed hippies into happies. We were all once long hair, beard, mustache, goatee. Prabhupada wanted us to be clean shaven. He didn't want us to look like hippies. He wanted us to be Vaishnavas, aspiring devotees of the Lord. Like that. So there are 8,400,000 forms of life. The Vedic knowledge is perfect. Perfect knowledge. Veda means perfect knowledge. So we know 400,000 species are human species. So we should take advantage of this gift of a human form of life to become Krishna conscious, God conscious, and not waste another birth in the material world. Prabhupada said, finish it up in this lifetime. He said, finish it up in this lifetime. Don't waste another birth. Don't think of, well, I'll do it in another 2 or 3 births, because we don't know how many births we're going to take. So we should be serious about advancing our Krishna consciousness in this very birth. Prabhupada was explaining once, I remember in a lecture he was giving, that an expert teacher, say, there's 5 qualities. An expert captain wanting to cross over the ocean has to have these 5 qualities. First one is enthusiasm, utsaha. So we should be very enthusiastic. That means intelligent endeavor. Okay, then sincere. The devotee should be very sincere about Srila Prabhupada stated in New Dwarkadam. I lived there for about 6 years in LA, Los Angeles. Prabhupada said that first-class engagement is to execute the order of the spiritual master. So that's our very life and soul. To follow the orders, not to deviate, not to concoct. Well, I'll miss Mangal Arti today, or I'll chant japa during class, or I'll do it the way I want to do it. No, we want to follow the process properly. So first is enthusiastic, we should be, transcendental qualities, and sincere to execute the order. That means sincere. Insincere is just the opposite. Not to follow the order. That's insincerity, disobedience, right? And the third is what? Conviction. We must be convinced. We must be confident that we can achieve full Krishna consciousness in this lifetime. And the fourth is to be determined, like Dhruva Maharaj. He was determined to have Krishna. He found Krishna within 6 months, right? Wasn't he able to find the absolute truth in 6 months? Dhruva Maharaj. And also Rukmini was determined to have Krishna as her husband, right? So determination. We can't just take this cheaply. This is the most important thing that for anyone in any planetary system, in any universe, in any world, is to go back to home, back to Godhead, is to become fully Krishna conscious. And Srila Prabhupada said, and above all, one should be very patient. You see, patient. Patience is important. We shouldn't expect that now I got initiation, so now I'm fully Krishna conscious. So I use the word fully Krishna conscious. So when Prabhupada was mentioning that in the early days, to be fully Krishna conscious, and he was talking about Lord Mahavishnu lying on the causal ocean, and millions and trillions and quadrillions of universes emanating from the skin pores of Lord Mahavishnu. And the universes don't come out large, they come out small and evolve large. Yeah, and he said further that if you read the first 9 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, you become fully Krishna conscious. So I was a little shy at that time. And Chandrika Pandit says, don't be shy over devotional service or taking prasadam. So as you see, I'm not shy about taking prasadam. But I was shy about asking a question. I thought, maybe I'd ask a foolish question and something like, and then the devotees would look at me like, oh, what are you, stupid, looking at the, and fully Krishna conscious. And I said, but another time when and a number of years later, we were in Vrindavan, and we were on a morning walk, and I said, Srila Prabhupada, a number of years ago in Los Angeles, California, New Dwarkadam, you were saying that we should be fully Krishna conscious. What does that mean, Srila Prabhupada? And Prabhupada said, what do you think it means? That's what he answered. And I said, oh gosh, I'm put on the spot here. And my teeny brain, my brainless brain, couldn't figure out. I was like a test. And I said something stupid. And I said, well, Srila Prabhupada, when you see the deity in the temple, does that mean to be fully Krishna conscious? And Prabhupada says, so many people come into the temple and see the deity. Does that mean they're fully Krishna conscious? So many conceptions, right, people have of the deity, Archa Vigraha. And then Prabhupada said, to be fully Krishna conscious means when you fully realize that Krishna is the supreme master and everyone else is his eternal servant, and you no longer try to imitate Krishna by being the supreme enjoyer. See? So we're meant to be enjoyed. The gopis were pleased to be enjoyed by Krishna. They wanted to be enjoyed by Krishna. That is the real pleasure, to try to be, to please Krishna. And let Krishna be try to, not that I can please Krishna. I said to one in Prabhupada, I can't please Krishna. I said that to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, you shouldn't think you can't please Krishna, but you should know what pleases Krishna, but always feel yourself falling short of pleasing the Lord. See? So he always gives perfect answers, right? The pure devotee. So I'll ask for any comments, questions, chastisements. Yes, Ru. I'm very hard of hearing, so I may have to, you have to make it real loud and clear.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, you said that we have to see Krishna is in everyone's heart. So when we see Krishna is in everyone's heart, then why do we discriminate each other in different ways?
See, I got as far as Krishna's in everyone's heart, and the rest I couldn't understand.
Why do we discriminate each other in different ways? Whether we see Krishna in each and every heart or we do something else.
And why do we what now?
We do something else. We think something else. Krishna is not in his heart, so that's why I have enmity with him, or I chastise him, or do something.
What did he say?
Why do we judge other people? Like he says Krishna's in everybody's heart.
Yeah.
Why do we discriminate?
Well, because we're not fully Krishna conscious. We don't fully realize that Krishna is the supreme master and we're his eternal servant. So we're lacking Krishna consciousness. That's why.
So this is full Krishna consciousness. This is in full Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, Prabhupada said there's no scarcity of anything in this world but Krishna consciousness. So that's what we have to do, is develop our full Krishna consciousness, be fully Krishna conscious, not partially, not 99%, 100%. And that can be done if we want to go back home, back to Godhead. We have to be fully Krishna conscious. And be careful about criticizing devotees, because that's one of the greatest offenses, is to criticize a Vaishnava, especially one who's initiated. So we should be very careful and cautious. And try to study. We should study 1-2 hours or more a day, our lesson. When we go to school, college, university, aren't we studying? So we have all these valuable scriptures. Bhagavad-Gita, Prabhupada said, Bhagavad-Gita is, what did he say? He said, Bhagavad, and then he said, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. That, I can't remember, I forgot, but we should study these three basic books. Very good. Bhagavad Gita is like the beginning, and Srimad Bhagavatam is next. Yeah, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is the highest. So we should do our homework and discuss Krishna consciousness amongst ourselves, instead of speaking nonsense, Gramya Katha, and wasting valuable time. We should utilize every moment to develop our love for Krishna. Krishna Pumarta Mahan, love of God. That's above Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Devotees are not interested in following material religious principles, artha, economic. development, working. I got to get a job and pile up a lot of money so I can have a nice family life, karma, enjoying the senses. And as we said before, our senses are meant for Krishna's enjoyment. See? Is that okay? Okay. Other questions, comments, corrections?
I can ask you same question.
Oh.
How we can become fully Krishna?
Okay. What you're going to ask, son? Thakur?
Question you were asking.
I can ask same question.
What's
How we can become fully Krishna conscious?
fully? Well, Krishna says in the Bhagavad-Gita, Sarva dharman paritaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishami ma shucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. This surrendering is completely transcendental. In other words, this knowledge we're reading is transcendental, nothing to do with the mundane conception of life. You see, the Bhagavad-Gita is transcendental, Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is transcendental, Ishopanishad, all these Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion. Prabhupada said, of all the books I've written, I enjoy reading that the most. Nectar of Devotion. That's a summary of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Very important scripture. Who wrote that? Srila Rupa Goswami. Yeah. What was your question again?
Question you were asking Krishna Prabhupada. How we can become fully Krishna conscious?
Okay, fully Krishna conscious. Just to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. Very simple instructions, not complicated. What, simple for the simple, complicated for the complex. Very simple. Spiritual life is simple life, but material life is very complex, complicated. You see, spiritual life is very simple. All we have to do is follow. Get up before 4 o'clock, take bath, right? Get ready for all auspicious Mangal Artik. Prabhupada, I understand, and I may be wrong, and you can chastise me if I'm wrong. The Prabhupada said practically if you're on your deathbed, you should not miss Mangal Artik. An hour and 30 or an hour and 36 minutes before the sun rises. All auspicious Mangal Artik. It starts the day off very nicely. And go to Guru Puja, offer something with love to Srila Prabhupada, and Srimad Bhagavatam, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and preach. Prabhupada once said, always chant Hare Krishna and spread Hare Krishna. That's how we become fully Krishna conscious. Not that Prabhupada wanted everyone to preach Krishna consciousness. We're not Bhajananandis. I'm not criticizing Bhajananandis because Akinchana Krishna's Babaji, Srila Prabhupada's godbrother. Prabhupada said he was a pure devotee. He was a Bhajananandi Vaishnava. But Prabhupada instructed us to become Goshtianandi Vaishnavas, preachers. We should preach and practice what we preach. Set a good example. Acharya Mam Purusha Veda, one who has a bona fide spiritual master, knows what is right, what is wrong. Is that okay? Anything else? Yes, sir.
As you said, Vaishnava offerings is the highest level of offerings. So is there any process to overcome that office?
What did you say?
Is there a process to counteract the offense of Vaishnava Aparad?
keep chanting Hare Krishna, but be careful not to do it intentionally, because there's intentional aparad and unintentional offenses. So even if one occasionally does things intentionally, one should always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the great gift, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Anything? Is that it, or did you want? Ask me some. If it's not clear, you can ask something else. Yeah, just to chant the holy name and chant the glories of Krishna, and be sincere. Try to become expert. And I think I forgot that. Expert means these 5 things: to be enthusiastic, to become sincere, to become convinced or conviction, to become determined, and above all, to become very patient. One becomes an expert. It's also a transcendental quality. I think you had a question. Did you have a question? Oh, I thought you raised your hand. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
When we hear the classes and we read at home, we understand everything. But after some time we forget what was the purpose, what was the subject of it. Little bit it remains in the heart, but as why so?
Could you repeat that for me, because I couldn't get it clear? Something about living at home, you said, or something. I couldn't, my hearing, I do need a hearing aid, by the way. If anyone knows where I can get a good hearing aid, let me know. I've been looking, but so far I can't find one. I even tried Mayapur, and they have hearing aids for 300,000 rupees, one. Another 300,000 rupees, two. And that didn't work. Yeah, 600,000 rupees for a hearing aid. And even that didn't work. I've tried, but so far I'm having trouble with that. That's the trouble with old age. What did she say?
Should I repeat, Prabhu?
What?
Should I repeat what my question is?
What?
She's asking about after the class when she goes home.
Yeah.
Many of the points of the class are forgotten, and very little stays inside. Why is that?
Yeah. Well, we are beginning our spiritual life, right? So we have forgotten Krishna a long time. And by the grace of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki, he's by His mercy, we're able to again reestablish our lost relationship with God or Krishna, you see. So we tend to forget. Maya means forgetfulness of Krishna, and Krishna consciousness is remembrance of Krishna. So we should always, as Prabhupada once recommended, chant 16 rounds on the beads and 100 rounds off your beads. That means that the tongue should always be vibrating holy name, holy form, qualities, pastimes of Krishna. Not nonsense, not Gramya Katha, always Krishna Katha. Then there's no, even though we forget, that's not so bad, because we're trying to sincerely follow the instructions for good health, right? We want to be healthy, right? The holy name, right? And we take that as our medicine. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And the diet is Krishna Prasadam. So I'm keeping you from taking your diet right now. So I don't want you to be too angry at me now. Srila Prabhupada ki.